So yeah, I kind of started playing Final Fantasy XIV. I could understand some people thinking that I only started playing it because, you know, it's been all over the news lately and stuff going on with Blizzard and people leaving World of Warcraft in droves, you know. You'd be pretty much correct, but I have actually played this game before, probably over maybe a year ago now when it was free on PSN. I think it had some sort of trial, if I remember correctly. I only played it for a few hours and, you know, I did enjoy it, but I just had a lot going on at the time. I was playing other things and I just kind of fell off of it. However, with the game doing so well now and everyone talking about it, I thought I might as well just jump in and see what it's all about, honestly. So, of course, why not share my experience with you guys and perhaps help you decide if maybe you want to give it a try yourself. But before we go any further, you probably saw this coming, but I really just have to mention the recent influx of support on the channel. I mean, subscribers to this channel have literally more than doubled in the last week. In around 7 months of doing YouTube, I had about 160 subs, with my best video getting I think about 1,400 views. And then after putting up my Samurai Warriors 5 review and then the follow-up video, we're just shy of 400 subs at the time of recording this. And that review I mentioned is sitting at just over 9,100 views right now. It's just, I don't know, it's like just such a great feeling and really encouraging to have that kind of support, not to mention all the kind comments and stuff like that. It's just great. I've been able to chat with loads of people and it's just going exactly how I wanted the channel to go. I'm trying to build something that genuinely helps other people while also, you know, trying to be respectful to all other viewpoints, good or bad. And from what I'm being told, you guys are really appreciating the approach, so thank you very much indeed to all the people that are already here on the channel, and a big welcome to the hundreds of new subscribers that have joined us recently. And if you're not subscribed to the channel currently, maybe take a look at my other work, and if you think I've earned it, please do consider subscribing to the channel. And I know that was a bit of a long section, but I feel like I really needed to say that. The little subscription reminder that I generally do isn't that long at all normally, but when I receive that level of support, I really do need to acknowledge it, so there you go. But anyway, yeah, I recently started playing Final Fantasy XIV, partly due to, you know, the buzz surrounding it, but also because I've always wanted to get into it. You know, I've kind of looked at it from afar and always wanted to play it. I've played various MMOs over the years, like Guild Wars 2, Terra, and World of Warcraft, and even, you know, Phantasy Star Online back in the day. I understand that the last one isn't exactly an MMO by today's standards, but it was basically the first popular one on console, so I think it deserves a mention. Plus, you know, I love that game. But while this game is very complex, it also manages to be, in my opinion, the most flexible one I've ever played. The footage that you're seeing was captured on a PS5, and I'm using the 1080p 60fps visual mode. You can also use a dynamic resolution mode that goes higher than 1080p when it can, but still targets 60fps, or a full 4K mode that runs at basically 30. I've always been a gameplay above graphics and FPS over resolution kind of guy, but depending on who you are and what you want, you can set it appropriately. So, you know, does it have the best looking world, animations, textures, all that stuff? Well, no, not really, it kind of doesn't, but as I've just said, if the game is fun, I can look past the visuals. I've actually known people in the past who simply won't touch a game if they think the graphics are bad, and sure, that's of course their choice, but I just can't help but feel like those people miss out on certain games. But I suppose with that said, it's not really my place to judge, so, you know, it's fine. The gameplay in Final Fantasy XIV is very similar to the standard MMO formula. You walk around a large open world with various zones, picking up quests, killing monsters for XP, leveling up, looting gear, learning skills, and later on playing dungeons and raid-style quests. The combat is that kind of auto-attack combat where your character will attack on its own, and your job is to use your skills, which are on cooldowns, and to sometimes avoid bigger enemy attacks, which you are actually quite well warned about, via what is basically an area of effect template on the ground. You generally earn new skills and spells as you level up, but you know, you can get some special ones from various quests out in the world as well. At first, I definitely found the HUD and the interface a bit overwhelming, as I haven't played this style of game for quite a while at this point, and I was using a controller instead of a keyboard and mouse. But I decided to take things really slowly and just kind of soak up the world. You know, I'm in no rush to no life the game and grind it out. I'm just simply playing it and learning it as I go, in between other games and reviews that I do on the channel. There's also plenty of videos out there on how to get started in the game as well, so I'd suggest taking a look at those for some early game tips if you're interested in getting started with the game. I began the game as this female character you see here who is a marauder. They use a great axe and are basically decent at both tanking and damage dealing. The name of the character, as you can see, is Chloe Orcust. And the reason behind the name is two different things. Basically, first of all, the first name Chloe is based upon my favourite actress, Chloe Grace Moretz. I'm really quite a big fan of hers, and at this point the missus has definitely come to peace with it. I mean, I even have a signed photo of her on the wall in my living room, so you know, make of that what you will. The second part of the name is pretty simple. It's just an archetype from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game that I used to play, and I thought it fit quite well, so I just went with it. I mentioned earlier that the game was flexible, and this is one such example. While I started as a marauder who can later specialize into the warrior class, you're actually free to level up all classes on one character, which is really cool. You do have to reach certain points in the game to do that, and some are only available once you reach the maximum level in the base game, which I think is level 60 if I'm not mistaken, but it means that you can have one single character that's able to do eventually everything in the game, which I really like. You can also manage your gear sets, so when you switch your class, you can switch your gear to match, which is a very helpful feature I think, and when coupled with the fact that you can play almost all of the content in Final Fantasy XIV and its expansions solo, it makes for a very accessible, albeit time-consuming MMO. I won't go too much more into the details of how everything works because, you know, this is just kind of my first impressions, honestly, and if you're going to be playing this yourself, I kind of want you to experience it. Plus, there's plenty of starter guides already out there on YouTube. I've heard from a lot of different places that the story really gets interesting down the line, and the game is generally more story focused than most MMOs tend to be. I haven't really seen that much that's intrigued me so far, but it's still very early days for me in the game. I think in the footage I'm around level 13 to 15, something like that, but at the time of recording this I'm around level 18, so I still have a long way to go, but it's pretty cool so far. Something you might actually be interested to know though, if you're wanting to play this game, then hop over to the PSN store because it's on sale right now. You can actually get the PS4 and PS5 Complete Edition for £18 in the UK, or I believe $24 in America right now, and that includes the base game, all the currently released expansions, and a 30-day free trial. This is the edition that I bought, but I'm not sure if it's the same on other consoles or PC right now. I don't think it is, but you'd have to check for yourself. Again though, it's £18 or $24 right now on PSN, and I believe the sale ends on the 19th of August 2021, so you've still got plenty of time to pick it up if you want it. Oh, and by the way, one thing to remember, after the 30-day trial ends, you will need to pay a small monthly fee to keep playing, so do keep that in mind. But yeah, overall, I'm really having fun with it, honestly. It's a nice little distraction to have going on, you know, parallel to other things I'm doing. And I've got nearly 2 weeks between my last review, which was Samurai Warriors 5, and the next one, so I thought, why not spend some time in Final Fantasy XIV? The next review was going to be Shadowverse Champions Battle on the Switch, but a few days before that, we've got the Super Edition of the Power Rangers fighting game, Battle for the Grid. So as a huge Power Rangers fan, I'll probably do a small review on that while I wait for my copy of Shadowverse to arrive. I'm still doing both, but I just wanted to make sure that you knew that the next one would probably be Power Rangers, then Shadowverse. And those two games are going to be released between the 10th and the 13th of August, so hopefully I'll get them early again, but as usual I can't guarantee it. Either way, I'll do my best to get them out as soon as reasonably possible. So if you enjoyed the video, please remember to hit the thumbs up button, and of course, if you're new to the channel, I hope today will be the day that I earn your subscription. All the important links are in the video description down below as always, but with all that said, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.